Hey guys, Tobyana's back, and I gotta tell you, I am so cold. Winter sucks. But anyways, I am currently gonna be showing you a watch me work of my next project on Aywas. This is kind of a teaser because this is going to become one of those bundles. And I totally am just jumping on the bandwagon here, but it's going to be a bigger bundle with a ton of different Melo edits on it, which is going to be a ton of fun. And I hope you guys will like it. So right now I am shading some Melo. I did like little Nubby feet, and I've had this sketch for a while, but I haven't done anything with it. It's just sort of been sitting there. And the first thing I'm doing is, of course, putting a base in and turning those fun shading layers that I had just not on anything except the color that I did them in. I'm turning those to the overlay and the multiply settings so that I can really see what I'm doing with the shading. And I'm gonna put in a 30% fill using the base color on a multiply layer, and I'm gonna erase into there just like I did on the other tutorial you saw. And I'm going to use a brush set to transfer with the line dynamics, size dynamics on. And then we're going to speed this up a little bit because otherwise you guys are going to get so bored and this video is going to be so long you're going to hate me. There are two different feet on here. One's a modification of the one we're working on right now, so this video might be a little bit longer than some of the others. We'll see. Now I'm going to stop erasing into it. I'm going to start painting into it so we end up with some darker shading. Now I realized later on that I had accidentally used the line color instead of the base while I was shading, so the shading looks really dark and kind of funky. I will fix that later on and you'll see that. But basically I'm just going in and I'm adding some darker shading into it, really adding more dynamic to this base, making it more 3D looking and yeah, hopefully cuter. That's the goal anyways. Anytime we do nubbies, we're doing cutesy things. And later on, I'm thinking I might do a Midnight Sakura coloration on this when I finish this whole template. And there are some ears and some tails and some eye edits and some other fun things that are going to be on here, some of which I haven't even discovered that I'm going to do yet because I'm going to have a sketching session later on that you guys will be able to watch. So I'm going to have a lot of fun doing that, and then I'm going to do one of Midnight Sakura colorations on here so that you guys can see how I do those colorations on a pet rather than just hair, because it gets a little more elaborate and a little more fun, and I know you guys like those colorations, so I'll do that, and maybe a vintage Sakura one too. But basically I'm just going in here and I'm adding some more shading and really pulling this Melo's design out, and of course having fun and fighting leg, which you'll probably see in here every once in a while when you see those big black lines that I then undo and get rid of. Again, if anybody knows what's causing that and knows a good fix for it, please tell me because it's driving me insane, okay guys? And here I've just figured out that I was using the line color for the shading, and I fixed that, so yay! But now that I saw that, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna really push things back a little further because that kind of ruined my shading a little bit. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've made a mistake, but I figured it out. So now I'm going in and I'm erasing some of the edges to give it some reflective light that I'll go in and add some more highlights into when I do the next shading layer. Next, you're gonna see me set my highlighting layer to overlay because I like how that looks after I do colorations on it. And I'm using a light yellow color because I like how that looks against most colors, and I feel like it gives it a richer looking shading. Which I really like because it adds complexity to the design and just makes it look a little bit more finished. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some highlights, I'm going to add some hot spots, I'm going to have a lot of fun with those tiny little feet, and I'm going to add some reflective light in there as well. And again, I'm speeding this up because otherwise you guys are going to get so bored. And as I'm adding those little hotspot finishes to those little feet, I'm looking at this paw and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can do such cute little edits on here. He can be holding anything. He could hold little flowers, he could hold little cookies, he could hold little cupcakes, I don't know, maybe a little, we can't do pets, so that's sad. I can't put a little mouse in his paw, but I could put like a mouse toy. And of course you guys can edit these to your heart's content once you purchase the bundles, so you can put whatever you want in there too, which is a lot of fun. And I did promise that we were doing 2 feet on this watch me work, so that's currently what we're doing next. Is we're doing little fluffy nubbies, which are just a modification of the last nubby feet that we did. And I like making my life a little easier when possible, so we're gonna take advantage of the shading that we just did. And I've already duplicated that onto the new feet, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna erase the parts of the shading that don't make any sense whatsoever with all that fluff. And then we're gonna go in and have a lot of fun shading the fur, because fur is so much fun to shade. Although I have to be honest, in this particular instance, I'm kind of working out some rust that was going on in my skills and trying to remember kind of how I do shade fur, and maybe trying to tweak how I did that, because the thing with rusty skills is that they sometimes have some old tendencies that you don't really use anymore, and sometimes you gotta take a moment and try and figure out how your new style works with your old techniques, kind of. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. And I realized right about here that I had some differences in the mask, and I was getting this weird white line where one base was ending and another base was ending not quite on top of each other. So I'm adjusting my mask for the new feet because I did base them a little bit differently and it wasn't a perfect fit. So what I'm really doing here, and I have speeded this up for you guys, is I'm going in with a brush on transfer using the base color on multiply, and I'm just going in and I'm adding some fur textures. Now I do like to erase into the shading for the fur on top of above the fur at the bottom, because I feel like that's the easiest way to get those multiple layers of fur. And in the back leg I sort of ended up with little Melo with the little tiny Melo nubbies, and then we've got the cute little Melo with the furry nubbies. So that's this video, and you guys have a great night. If you like to see more of these little tutorial watch me work videos, then please take a moment and subscribe to my video. And if you are like me and also live in a world of freaking cold, then stay warm and drive safe, guys. Have a great night. Bye.